Get over here!
I watched Mortal Kombat.
1.
But the 1995 movie, the first movie, Mortal Kombat, 1995. And it was an experience. I gotta say, I really loved it.
In each of us, there burns the fury of a warrior.
I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, but here we are. It is like peak 90s movie, and it is like peak 90s Mortal Kombat movie. And yet, for a game that is just a fighting game about people fighting each other, man, like Mortal Kombat is so deep. It has so much story and lore, and I really appreciate that about it. And I love how they actually use that in the movie to make everything feel, I guess, meaningful. Like, these aren't just people that are fighting because,
oh, the fighting game, got to fight.
this is a tournament to save the world. This is not just a fight. This is like the fate of the universe. It was really cool. I loved how all the characters were introduced. I was literally shouting out the names of characters. Like when Johnny Cage showed up with his sunglasses, I was like, wait, is that Johnny Cage? I was so excited. And I guess that's also the awesome thing about this movie is I really feel like they took the characters and tried to bring them to life in a way that was accurate but also felt meaningful. All right, so I don't even know where to start with this. I guess let's start with just what is happening in this movie. So the idea of the movie is that Liu Kang is kind of this chosen one, and he is going to represent Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat. However, his clan kind of seems to feel like he's not ready, but he's like, I'm going because it's my time to challenge Shang Tsung, who killed his brother years ago.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Which also, this is apparently not a thing in the games, but I'm really hoping with the reset of the continuity in Mortal Kombat 1, we implement this because that's how much I loved it. I want his brother to come back as well, like from the spirit world. Is that possible? I think that's possible. Could his brother like be part of like the Nether realm? Is that a thing that could happen? Because I think we should do that. We should do something. We should do something cool with it. We should implement it though, I think, into the game lore. So that's kind of his story and what he's doing. We also end up meeting Sonya and Jax, but Jax isn't really in this one. But I do hear he's in Mortal Kombat 2, which I am going to watch. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, I've heard some things about it. But I am very excited for Jax. So Sonya is also in this, and she's going to the tournament. Why is she going to the tournament? Oh yeah, she went because of Kano, which Kano in this is amazing.
So then he freezes this guy, right? And then he explodes. I could see his guts and everything.
Also, I didn't know this, but apparently the characterization of Kano in this is what has informed Kano throughout the games. Before, Kano was like just a dude, and him being Australian and like everything about his character that we get in the games comes from this film.
How about that? Over 50 and still a ripper.
Which also, can I just say, is directed by Paul Anderson, who's now Paul W. as Anderson, who I know from Resident Evil movies and Monster Hunter, and he has done so many things. He's also, I believe, Mila Jovovich's partner, and yeah, and it's just so Paul Anderson in like the best way. Like, I feel like this is all the best bits of Paul Anderson. It's such a good film. And I mean, I know, like, it's not critically acclaimed or anything. Like, I'm not saying this is worthy of necessarily maybe like, you know, people winning like massive awards for acting, but it's just so fun, and it lets itself be goofy and doesn't shy away from that, but it's so grounded in the seriousness. I mean, like, even with Sonya has to fight Kano. Kano is ridiculous, okay? He's ridiculous. But the seriousness of Sonya being like, he killed my partner. That's what it is. He killed my partner. So I'm gonna fight him because I need to get vengeance. And Sonya is ruthless in this. I love her. She's great. What a fun character. I want to be her. I'm gonna be like, ah.
Sonya wins.
So Sonya's joining for that, and Johnny Cage just has the best motivation. He's an actor, and people don't take him seriously as a fighter. They don't believe that he can fight. And so he's like, I want to be taken seriously. If I do this, the world will believe that I'm a true fighter. So he's going to go fight in Mortal Kombat. And I don't think, like, Johnny and Sonya both have no concept really of what they're getting themselves into. And I love how they're like in this world in Mortal Kombat, like, what's happening? What do you mean this is a tournament to like save the earth and all of this? And Liu Kang's just like, yeah guys, like it's a tournament to save the earth, like whatever. Like he's just there being like, I know what this is. You guys didn't know? Oh shoot. Also, Raiden in this is amazing. I was very confused because I didn't know Raiden was a white guy. I don't know, I just thought Lord Raiden was, I guess, Asian. Even though he's like kind of a deity, so, or a deity if you prefer that pronunciation. So he doesn't really have to be like any race really, but I think just because of the name like Lord Raiden and the fact that he wears a rice hat, I don't know, I just thought he wasn't a white guy, but he is apparently. And in this he's white, and that's apparently also part of his characterization. So very cool, very interesting. I really love the actor that plays him, who plays him. His laugh is so perfect. Oh, Christopher Lambert, perfect as Lord Raiden. So weird, so great.
Sorry.
And his voice, it's so perfect. Oh my gosh, I can't get over it. So Lord Raiden's also there, like basically trying to like be the cheerleader sort of for Earthrealm and kind of advise them on sort of things to do and watch them and give them advice. It's kind of like their guide, you know? Trying to help them all. And I guess because he is like a deity from Earth, so that's his buy-in and why he is there with Earthrealm. Also, talking about amazing performances, let's talk about Shang Tsung.
It has begun!
So Shang Tsung is also amazing, and he is performed, he's performed by, what is even words? He's played by Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. I hope I'm saying that right. Tagawa, I know I'm pretty sure I'm saying right. He's amazing. Like, he is so Shang Tsung, and definitely I can see how his performance here also really informed the character. Just everyone really that's in this, I feel like, has heavily influenced the games and the characterization of these characters in the games. The fights are also all amazing. Like, this is real martial arts, friends. This is real martial arts. The best fatality in this movie comes early on, very early on, and it is, I gotta give it to Johnny Cage's suitcase, which, rest in peace. That suitcase, it got wasted. So yeah, he asks Liu Kang to take his luggage, and then he's like, oh, huh? And he's like, oh, do you not understand? Like, I give you this money, you take my luggage. And Liu Kang is like, oh, no, I understand. And he takes the money, and then he dumps his luggage just like in the water.
Liu Kang wins. Fatality.
But it's fine. Don't mourn too much for Johnny Cage's luggage, because he's got like 20 more suitcases for some reason. He's got a lot of sunglasses in there, I imagine. I haven't seen him with anything else in the film, so I'm assuming the suitcases are all filled with sunglasses. I also want to talk about the fights in this, because the fights, like I said, yeah, they're amazing. This is real martial arts. This is not, friends, this is not Dragon Ball Z. This is another level. All of the fights are so great. I really love Sonya and Kano. I really love at the end, Liu Kang and Shang Tsung is really good. I think that's my favorite fight personally. But also, fun standout fight that Duck I know really loves, so I'm gonna shout it out, is the one with Reptile and Liu Kang as well, which is just so weird and so great. Because Reptile in this is animated, but it was the 90s, so like, you watch it now and you're like, oh, those are some effects we had in the 90s. And they can't have him fight an animated character because like we didn't have tech to try to figure out like how do we make it look like you're really fighting. So instead, Reptile just like basically goes to a statue that's like a person and then like goes into it and brings it to life and then fights like that. And he's got like his reptile mask, but otherwise it's just a dude. But it's like such a great fight. It is true. That one's really good. Johnny Cage also has like one of the best lines I think in this, which is when they start their fight, Goro breaks Johnny Cage's sunglasses in his fist, and then they fight. And at the end, Johnny Cage says, those sunglasses were $500. I was upset when they were, I was visibly like, oh, when his sunglasses were broken. I felt it in my heart too. Maybe I sympathize or empathize a lot with Johnny Cage because I'm also an actor and because I also really love sunglasses. That could be why. When it comes to the relationships in this movie, I would say that's maybe like the weakest part. Although the idea of all of these people that are friends, fast friends, being in this tournament, I'm willing to buy that. I'm willing to buy that like Raiden becomes sort of their guru throughout the tournament and they just accept that. I'm willing to buy that everyone just hates Shang Tsung because he like is terrible. He's a terrible guy. The romance between Liu Kang and Katana, I felt that. That felt pretty good to me. As soon as they walk in, it's like, Katana's over there. And it's just like, that instant, everyone's like, who's that lady? So I felt that. But the weirdest relationship in this has to be Sonya and Johnny Cage, which feels very shoehorned in. Initially, they get on each other's nerves, so of course, that could mean there's gonna be a romance. I was kind of thinking that, but I thought, well, we haven't really developed anything. And then you get to partway through the movie, and Johnny Cage is just basically like, we have to win because like I can't live without you. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, Johnny, like, don't say that. Like, oh, I can't take your love for me. It's just too much. I was like, what's happening? What? Why are you in love all of a sudden? We haven't developed this. Also, the worst part of the movie, let me tell you about that. That would be the end of the movie when, well, one, I really didn't like that Sonya got kidnapped. I just feel like she's way too capable. And Shang Tsung was like, I'm gonna fight Sonya because I choose who I'm gonna fight. Even though that's not how the tournament works. But that was our deal so that I would let you fight Goro, Johnny, because you gotta choose, so then I gotta choose. Which I guess is kind of fair. And then he just takes Sonya and kidnaps her and is like, nah. And Sonya can't get away, even though she's already proven herself as a pretty capable fighter. Although I will say, I feel like she was the one that didn't get as much to do with the fights. I mean, she fought Kano and she killed him. Fatality. That might be one of my favorite fatalities, actually. When he's just like, please don't. And she's like, now you're dead.
No, sir, no, don't. Oh, give me a break.
Okay. However, yeah, I just felt like she shouldn't be kidnapped. I don't know. I guess someone's got to get kidnapped, so I guess it's Sonya. It was the 90s still. Women had to get kidnapped. And then at the end of the movie, her hair. When she's kidnapped, she's put in this like, it's like a tarp dress, which Johnny also comments how he likes her dress. And I was like, no, Johnny. Like, I feel like Sonya gives him the same look that I made. She's like, ugh. But also her hair, which is just big and wild and very, very 80s, I feel, for the 90s. But I guess in the 90s, people were doing that style too. And at the end, she's talking about how much she likes her hair. And I was like, girl, you don't have to say that. It looks so bad. But I acknowledge this is a movie from the 90s. Anyways, that was the worst part of it. And other than that, I feel like it was just all around a fun time. A fun movie that wasn't afraid to kind of be corny and cheesy, but also didn't shy away from it and really committed to it. When the actors are saying these things, when Johnny is upset about his sunglasses, I believe him. It doesn't feel like phoned in. It doesn't feel like it's just a thing that they're saying to like ham it up. It feels grounded somehow, which I don't think is easy to do. So good job, everyone. And good job on making a Mortal Kombat movie that does justice to the property while also telling a good story. Dragon Ball Evolution. You could have learned from this movie. This movie came out a long time before you, and yet in 2009. No lessons were learned. So that's basically how I feel about it. I hope that you also enjoyed it if you have watched it. I hope you enjoyed this retro review. Let me know in the comments who your favorite character is from the Mortal Kombat movie. Who's your favorite characterization? I will add, I've barely talked about Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but I feel like that's fitting because they weren't really focal points for this. Even though they're like a couple of the most popular characters in the franchise. But hey, they were mind controlled, so they were there and they fought. They looked cool. They definitely looked cool, but not a lot of character development going on. Maybe in Mortal Kombat 2 we'll get more of that. Do we get more of that? Don't tell me. I want to watch and find out for myself. I'm hoping it's Scorpion and Sub-Zero. The story of their life. That's about it for this one, friends. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you let me know in the comments if you've watched Mortal Kombat, who are your favorite characters from Mortal Kombat, who are your favorite characterizations in the movie, and yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about Mortal Kombat 2. Until then, stay nerdy.